New at 6 tonight, the Knoxville City Council is set to vote on expanding its violence reduction contract with an out-of-state organization. And this comes after the city severed ties with a local group, Turn Up Knox, back in February.
10 News reporter Lauren Davis shares a community advocate's take on what could be done. Lauren?
John Robin, the city of Knoxville is considering expanding the scope for the National Institute of Criminal Justice Reform. However, some council and community members say there's no need to use this California-based violence reduction group when there are several groups in the area who are already doing the work.
There's plenty of organizations in Knoxville that can do your stats, can give you the numbers that you need.
On Monday, Knoxville leaders held a public information meeting to discuss the violence reduction proposal ahead of Tuesday's city council vote.
One of the things that came out of the meeting was several talked about this is the first time they felt that they had a voice at the table.
Vivian Shipe, a community advocate, says she thinks city council should keep their efforts local.
I would suggest that the city not rush to try to make this contract with the company out of California, that has to go away, and that you sit down and you talk to these organizations.
Turn Up Knox even shared a 10-page response to the city's letter terminating its contract. Executive Director Denzel Grant challenged the statements that were listed as reasons for termination and urged the city to reinstate the contract.
We understand that when you come and ask these groups to do things, you need to be more clear about what it is you want. See, I think some of the problem is they wanted documentation in a certain way. They wanted data in a certain way. Well, you didn't tell them that.
But Shipe says the city should try to include all the groups putting in work because their efforts have helped.
Groups like Turn Up Knox and Renounce and Safe Haven and other groups, they never stopped covering this city. That's why you haven't had deaths. That's why the fatalities are down. That's why the violence is down. So let's talk to these people. Let's put them to work. Let's pay them.
I reached out to the city of Knoxville for their comment on Turn Up Knox's letter. A spokesperson says they are sticking to what they said in their original letter, outlining why they ended their contract, and everything will be decided at tonight's council meeting. John Robin.
We'll continue to follow it and update our viewers tonight on 10 News at 11. Lauren, thank you.